Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, everyone. Turn down the violent wave noises ever so slightly. Hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. How are y'all doing? Wee bit sleepy. Slept in a bit more than I intended. Wanted to start closer to 11, but was eating breakfast because I kind of like stayed in bed this morning watching a video on the ZA DLC, getting some mechanics learned, just hanging out. Sip, sip, sip. Sip, sip, sip. Adjust to the chair slightly, get comfy. Hope everyone's doing good. Just went ahead, and while I was getting stream set up, I set my backup thing back up. So, went ahead and got the world backed up just now, which is quite nice. Waiting for Betacraft to open. Come on now. What's your malfunction? There we go. Okay. I hope everyone's doing good. Been a long 2 days of not streaming, just 'cause I think I've really kind of registered the fact that for me, I do better with like actually starting streams if it's before work, right? Otherwise, whenever I get home, I'm just too tired to do it. So, oh, bonk my phone. Why don't I do that? That sounds like a great idea. Let me check that this is correct. Windowed game. There we go. Make sure everything seems right. Yep, we're good. Load, load, wander, open. In we go. Immediately into the very loud C418 music. Let me unmute desktop audio. I glove thy flob. Okay, so last time, about a week ago when we streamed this, I want to say, because we had, we finished the star on the tree, so that's all done now. And then we also, I believe, did a little bit of terraforming, just a tad bit, just a wee bit. Controls, inventory tab, drop. Now, the music may have gotten replaced, non-zero chance, since I was last on here, so not too sure. What I need, I don't know why I don't have any dirt on me. What we're going to be doing is we're going to spend a good bit of time terraforming that side of the world. Just because that's really the last big thing we have left. The last big project we have left to do on this side of the world. Barring the vaults, but that's another I just started that sort of thing. So it's not a huge priority. Grab that. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead, understack the dirt, and it's gonna be a pretty long stream, I'd say, like close-ish to 3 hours. 3 hours going ahead and just doing all that terraforming. Because once I'm done with that, I really can just hard focus the arena. That's gonna be the next thing that gets, like, all of my attention. Okay. TNT. Chest. Dirt. Okay, we're good. And there we go. I keep trying to use my keybinds for my hotbar, and they just don't exist yet. One day. That day is not anytime soon. Okay. I need to mess around with save mod again at some point soon. Or like mess around with isofix for quilt, since that's the only like big 223 mod I can think of at the moment. Toy around with that and see if I can't figure out this sound bug. Dealt with. Okay. Because if I can get that working, I can play on a quilt instance of this game. And then I could probably just go ahead and set up a thing that lets me have my keybinds. That'd be beautiful. One sec. I'm back. I didn't put up my work schedule, so Grandpa was checking in, seeing what time we're gonna be heading out. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of work from this way down for a little bit. And we can always mix things up as we continue to do this, but let's see here. There's not really anything in particular I need to, like, do for this. There's not some very specific way I'm handling this area. I'm just kinda going with what seems nice at any given moment. The only goal I really have... Also, I'm realizing now I'm gonna need a new shovel understack. This thing is getting very damaged very quickly. My only goal for this is just to have everything covered in dirt and looking a little bit varied, right? So have it not be like one big old flat area. But that's about it. So I'm not doing anything overwhelmingly fancy here. This isn't like the little outcrop from earlier. Little shark outcrop. Okay. Good. Bonk my foot on the leg of my office chair and scratch it up real bad. Wonderful thing to do. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. I hope everyone's doing good this morning. Another thing is, like, I have to tear myself away from the Legends ZA DLC. I could stream it, but I'm also, like, most of the way through it, I think, right now. So it's, like, it's not a huge reason for me to do so. I'd rather just use spare time where I'm not having streamer energy to play it. Like, part of me wanted to play it this morning, but I held myself back so that I would actually do this. Okay. Good. Kind of wrap this around this way. Can have this little dip in the ground. Okay. can't really see anything right now, which is fine. It's not a huge concern. Okay. And then let's bring this out this way a wee bit, and we'll kind of have it, like, merge into here. Okay. Like so, like so. What's up, Wanderers? Hello, Captain Solo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just doing some basic terraforming this morning. Really the last main sort of project I have over on this half of the world. I never put off completing critical assignments to watch Wander. Never. Never in a million years. I can't imagine, personally. I'd never... That, like, pressure plate noise actually kind of jump scared me. Brother. But yeah, welcome in, Solo. I'm glad to see that, like, folks do enjoy watching this. This is easily the single most dedicated I've ever been to, like, any Minecraft world ever. Single player, server, anything. Which... It's fun. It's fun that other people are also getting enjoyment out of it. Even if it's just like a handful of fellas that enjoy when it comes around. It's always nice. Always nice. Found my little niche in the old block game community. But yeah. We're finishing up this terraforming that we've been talking about doing for actual weeks now. Finally done putting it off. No longer working on Christmas trees or 10-hour-long diamond grinds. Let's hear. Line this out. Yeah. How's your day going, Solo? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. This little chunk's good. Kind of have this. I want to like stretch this out to be a sort of plane, and then we'll go up one block over here, I'm thinking. Oh, and on repeat. That pressure plate noise. It's so cursed hearing like music that isn't just Calm 1, 2, and 3 over and over and over. Feels a little bit odd. Gotta celebrate the holiday season with new flavors of C418. Okay. This way. Okay. Good, 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 good. Fill up all the sledge, even these bits of climb out of the water spots. Okay. Oh, I'm being called, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. My coffee's gotten a bit cold. Uh-oh. That's not what coffee's supposed to do. It's supposed to be hot. Toasty. It's supposed to be scrumptious in my tumptious. Okay. I'm thinking we'll fill in this area and we'll do kind of a incline just here. Fill everything in first, just for my sanity. This area is going to go up one towards the edge, is what I'm currently thinking. Okay. Yeah, one mod I'd love to get set up at some point would be adding controls, adding keybinds, so that I can go ahead and actually have my hotbar buttons. I'm fiending without them. What even is the point? What even is the point? But yeah, the plan is, today is a terraforming stream. If we have any time at the end, I might go ahead and try and get back into the arena. Like, just figure out how I was doing that once more. Because it has been a little bit since I've toyed with it, so probably going to need to do a bit of a refresher on my end to know what the goal is there. If I can get a hold of what I'm trying to accomplish, I'll work on that a wee bit if I have time. There's also no guarantee that I do have time to work on that before work today. And then we'll see when the next Wander stream is. Because they also do owe chat 25 parkour maps. Because I may have not survived in Parkour Civilization. So I'm in a little bit of debt to chat with that, and so I want to try and get those all done this month if I can, just as a fun little content goal. Okay. Good. Fill in all this. Saw your post about slabs on Reddit and you found my channel. Well, welcome, Nuclear Glue. Welcome, welcome. I am surprised that has brought in any new viewers, but that's nice. That's nice. This is the world where I found that on. I was like working on my farm over there, and I ran into that goofy behavior. I'm sure it was like known about prior, I just couldn't find any documentation. I say I'm sure it was. Multiple people in the comments were like, oh yeah, I have seen this. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Very fun little thing. Oh, this water wants to die violently. This water is ready to go. You know what I want documentation on? In-dev water physics. The code in this is blatantly absurd. There's like weird behavior. And I'd love to see someone who actually knows how the heck it works. Because the wiki saying, oh, it has a 2 out of 3 chance to evaporate and a 1 out of 3 chance to not, is just not accurate. It feels a lot more complicated than that. A whole lot more. Okay. Yeah, right now we're just working on some terraforming glue. Trying to finish up this project before I move on to the next. There used to be a whole bunch of storage towers that looked vaguely like that, or at least the starts of them, and I blew them up to get rid of them, because I was like, this'll be quick. And I didn't really stop to think about the time investment I'd have to do in cleaning up my mess. So, maybe mistakes were made, but it was really fun watching everything explode, so I have no regrets. Bring this over this way. Enjoy trying to make sense of what one Swede made 15 years ago while learning to code. Mood. Remember, Glue, when in doubt, blame Notch. A wise MC Lego Taylor once told me, I blame Notch, and I've never forgotten those words. Getting lag spikes, we're gonna save the game. Save the game. Flake is such a banger. Okay. And then we'll kind of go ahead and, like, cut this off here. And fill in this little indentation. So do you, like, mess with older versions for modding stuff, in that case? So it's not just your end stuttering? Yeah, occasionally I've been getting lag spikes on this new laptop with this. It generally runs a whole lot better, but I have noticed, like, the occasional lag spike over here. And then there's also just the fact that, like, my network sometimes struggles to keep up with the stream over here. Generally, it's good enough, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Once I've gone ahead and, like, finished my goal of saving up quite a bit, and then once I go ahead and start working on, like, paying off some student debt, I'll probably look into contributing towards the internet so we can get a better plan for it. Since I don't know quite how long I'm going to be over here, but I know I have been streaming a whole lot more, so I would like the streams to be of good quality. Let's see here. Like, right now this is probably the best spot I've been in for a good bit, just in terms of going ahead and doing content and all that. My job is tiring at times. I mean, it's fast food, so, like, it's gonna be. But it's not so endlessly mentally exhausting like Walmart was that I just went on several breaks. All I really need to do, TNT is so fun to use in survival, but it's rather expensive for casual play. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason people, like, have labbed the heck out of TNT dubers and whatnot. Plus understacking over here, letting me just put down literal thousands of TNT if I wanted to, with absolute no cost to myself. But yeah, all I really need to do to stream a lot, at least where I'm at now, is I just need to do one before work. That's it. I want to have the energy to do it in the morning. I know I'm not normally a morning person, but this is the exception, not the rule. This is the exception. Have a cup of coffee. Cold cup of coffee, mind you, so it's not quite as good, but what can you do? What can you do? Okay. Like, it's kind of insane looking at my channel, right? If I go to, so Brickcraft lol, that's the, I did that stream 5 months ago after, like, a little short break just for the sake of, what's it called? Brickcraft got leaked, so I did a 2.5 hour long stream to be the first person to ever stream Brickcraft, which was very fun. And then there was just a 4-month long break until obligatory test stream for me trying to see if I could do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21, 25, and counting this one, 26. 26 streams in the last month after, like, having barely done any for most of the year. We're cooking. We're cooking with gas. We're doing good. It's good to be back. streaming's always one of those things where it's like, I want to do a lot of it, and I just can never find the energy, and I finally found out how to find the energy, and I'm thriving. I am thriving. Okay. So we'll bring this back over this way. Kind of like going up against the national park. I still need to think of things to put in there at some point. It's not a huge priority at the moment, but something we do have to think about at some point. Make a little bit of a bump up here. Another day-night transition. Fair enough. Because I really do enjoy streaming, right? I know it's not like anything super advanced, anything super crazy. But like, I do enjoy making content, and I just have a hard time finding the time and motivation to do fully edited videos. So streaming is the nice kind of middle ground for just chill, long content that I don't have to edit. I don't really have to put a whole bunch of work into making it watchable. People who come into the stream, they already know it's gonna be just kind of generally relaxed vibes. Mind you, if I'm ever in a VC with people, that goes completely out the window, but good to mix things up, I think. Okay. Bring this back a wee bit. Kind of fill in this area. I still have my torch understack, which is very nice to have. Okay. We've got a whole lot of space that needs to be terraformed. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. It's what I get for nuking an entire edge of my map, I suppose. It's to be expected. Come out this way. Over here. I need to, like, watch, what's it, The Story of Minecraft? That's what 1 is from, right? Like, that's what C418's little 1 album is from, if I remember correctly. I don't think I've ever watched it. I think I saw that it existed on Amazon Prime Video when I was a kid, but, like, I didn't have a means of paying for it. Now I do. Is it The Story of Minecraft or The Story of Mojang? What's it called? I'm trying to remember. All I know is that it has peak music. All I know is that C418 cooked once again. As he does. As he does. C418, C418. However it be pronounced. Day-night's finally transitioning again. Checking something. Quick drink of coffee. Ooh. Once I finish up this terraforming, I'll go ahead and take an isometric to show on screen. It's Minecraft, The Story of Mojang. Okay, so it's both. So it's both. I was double wrong, or double right. However you want to look at it. Okay. Get around here. Already placed over 1,000 blocks of dirt this stream. I'm going to miss having understacking. It's gonna be very sad when that's not a thing anymore. Then again, I've also kind of, like, told myself mentally, hey, whenever you get to InfDev and actually have access to just collecting a bunch of dirt without messing up your world, you gotta stop using it. So, one day we won't be using this. That day is not today. for now I can place all the dirt I ever wanted to my heart's content. Okay. Let's kind of bring it over this way. I'm going to have a little dip over at the edge. Just because I can. Because nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me. Nothing at all. Okay. The current plan, because tomorrow I don't have work, right? So if nothing changes, tomorrow will be the start of me doing the 25 parkour maps. And we'll just do a long, most of the day stream, probably. We'll see if anything changes, if any plans come up. Don't think they should, but I can always be wrong. Can always be incorrect. I'm gonna light some things up real quick as well, just so I can continue to see. Continue adding to the actual torch addiction we have in this part of the world. It's a little bit absurd looking at it, but it's also really funny, in my opinion. Just having thousands upon thousands of torches placed all over the place. Okay. Plus, it just makes the terrain look really nice, in my opinion, especially at night. Having the torches kind of add a checkerboard pattern to the entire map. I like it. Is it excessive? Yes. Is it actively damaging the day-night cycle? Also, yes. Is it worth it? You all can be the judge of that. So this is the type of playthrough where you start in an old version and keep updating? Yeah. So, it doesn't really show because I've not updated in like over a year. We started in survival test and went up through the versions for a bit. There's two things I'm waiting on before I update. So, the hard, like, this needs to exist before I update is InfDev saving. Like, I commissioned a mod from LEGO to add saving to every version of the game that doesn't have it, right? So, that's where the early version in-dev saving mod comes from. But also, it's been commissioned for InfDev, and I want to say 3.2.5 is working. But before it gets ported, the converter needs to have a bug fixed. Once that bug is fixed, though, it should be good to go to all the other versions of InfDev. But the other thing is, even once I'm able to, like, access those starting versions of InfDev, I'm also waiting for a project that's been commissioned called Spore Blossom, which is a multiplayer server open source like client thing, right? It's a open source server jar for in20100223, which will also have like a client side mod, probably done through Quilt, but we do need to figure out a sound bug. And the reasoning for this, the reasoning I'm waiting on that is I want to go ahead and have the entire map have things. Like, I want it to be covered no matter where you go. There's something to see before I update to InfDev, right? I want to complete my in-dev world, which is going to take a while. But this is really, like, classic through in-dev is really the only kind of version range where you can do that. Where you can say, yeah, the map is done. Like, the map is filled everywhere you go, packed to the brim with some kind of build. And so having the multiplayer mod will make that go by quite a bit quicker. I want to do things akin to Stampy's Lovely World, where I have people on while I'm streaming. Kind of as like parts of the world itself, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Have these other people on, not as like an SMP, so this isn't running 24/7 for anyone to join, but instead, like, you can think of the other players as just yet another thing in the survival world. Just another part of my my little survival world. So, that's gonna happen eventually. That's in the pipeline. Whenever it does, one thing that I'm planning on running, because it's gonna be showcased on Wander first, right? Wander is going to be the reveal of it being done. But what I'm going to do is I'm planning to run an actual little SMP. I'll do it like Turtle, where it's not really... Turtle SMP is something a person in the MCDF Discord's running. I'll do it like that, where it's not hard to get in. Like, it's technically not public, but if you're known to not be a piece of crap in the community, then you're good to join without any issue. And I'll have that running as sort of a test for Spore Blossom. So that way, you can iron out any bugs, get everything nice and functional. So that's also in the pipeline. It'll happen eventually, Trademark. Not anytime super duper duper soon, but it is actively in the works. At least when Ham feels like not leaving the Discord for no apparent reason. Yeah. Yeah. I don't leave MCDF, I just go quiet for months on end, aside from self-promotion, as any self-respecting Discord user does. But that'll be fun. One thing I'm wondering... I'll think about it more whenever Spore Blossom is actually done. Like, I don't need to put a whole bunch of thought into it right now, for the sake of, I don't want to think about something and then forget about it, because it's gonna be months, probably, before it's completely finished. But once it is relevant, I'll probably ask moderation within MCDF or Omni Archive to see, like, what the best way of kind of promoting that thing would be. Because it's meant to be, to some extent as well, because I want it for me, right? Like, I want it for my world. But it's also, everything I've commissioned from LEGO, I have it be open source. Like, I'm allowed to choose what it's gonna be, and I prefer for these things to be just accessible. If anyone wants to toy with them, they are more than free to. So I kind of want it to also be like a gift to the old block game community, give InDev a bit more love. So it's something that I want to be of, like, good quality, right? I want to make sure that the bugs get ironed out, and that means having people actually play it and test it. And I know that Betacraft can have, like, official servers. I don't know if that functionality still works, mind you. But it has, like, a little server tab where people can just join it. And so part of me is thinking of, like, instead of doing it like Turtle SMP, where it's not invite per se, but, like, very simple application. Part of me wants to see if I can make it fully public. I just don't have experience on, like, handling that sort of thing. I've only ever run private servers, and I know that, especially in, like, a version like this, where it's really old, probably prone to exploits that can harm the thing, it might be a bit difficult to run. So I'm gonna see if there's, like, more experienced people to help with that whenever the time comes. Not a lot right now, though. So we'll see when it gets around to it. Because there is a part of me that wants people to kind of try and push the server a bit. Like, push... not the rules of it, but, like, try and break it. Just to find points where it does break. So there's a very, very small part of me that's like, yep, our Spore Blossom test server, anarchy, good luck. Generally, the worst aspect is going to be moderation because the tools available are quite lacking. No, yeah, exactly. Which would also mean, like... Because LEGO is set up for a command system within it, to my understanding, right? Or, like... I'm trying to think. Yeah, what LEGO has done, and it's really kind of impressive, although the main showcase of it has been a B-movie command that just plays the entire script. LEGO has set up like an inbuilt plugin system for Spore Blossom, which right now isn't the utmost priority for the sake of, you know, having it actually be playable is number one. But having a plugin system would probably help the moderation side of things. Having like a chest tracker plugin or stuff like that. One of the goals is to get mixins working within it. So at that point, it can basically just be its own little mini mod loader for in-dev multiplayer on top of running with Quilt. There's definitely plans. And that also kind of leans into the open source aspect. If someone wants to, say, make a moderation plugin, make a chest tracker thing, it could always be one of the pre-bundled parts of the server. There's big plans. That's the main point I'm getting at. There's big plans to hopefully make this run as smoothly as possible. We just gotta eventually iron out the bugs whenever it's playable. Because right now a big part is partially recoding the game for it to be able to be open source. Like, LEGO is rewriting the code, not fully, like, it's supposed to match up functionality-wise perfectly, but just changing the notch code just enough to be like, yeah, technically I rewrote this, so, like, please don't come after me, Mojang. Which I don't think they would either way, but good to cover your ass, right? So once that's done, and entirely not in notch code, which should also make things easier to work with generally, next thing will just be getting it to connect to in-dev. And from there, time to go wild. I'm excited. That's been one of the big things in the pipeline for quite a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. The LEGO's also a very, very busy person, so I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. I just like talking about it whenever I have a vague excuse to. Which I think is a fair thing. Concept reminds me of OpenMW, if you're familiar with Morrowind. I actually have heard about that recently, yeah. Like, I've not played Morrowind yet. It's one of the games that I've wanted to toy with for quite a while. But, you know, it's an old game. It's an old, goofy game. Has some problems running on modern hardware. And it's not something that I've just sat down and, like, set up the mods to properly get it working. That and Oblivion. Like, I need to try it on my new laptop, mind you. But on my old laptop, I can't actually play Oblivion, like the original one. For the sake of every time I get to the naming screen for a character, it just completely breaks. Like, I can't type anything in and I can't make a nameless character, so it just soft locks then and there. So I've not really played Elder Scrolls games before Skyrim, which is something that I do want to do. Not sure if I'll do it on stream or not. I used to try and do Skyrim VR streams. One day I hope to have enough space to do that again. I need to bring back the adventures of Peter and Vodka. That was some of the most fun I've ever had streaming. Just rambling at a Skyrim pet dog for hours on end is surprisingly fun. But yeah, at some point I want to do Morrowind and Oblivion. But I did see, like, on a video, just regarding playing those old Elder Scrolls games, like Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind. I have learned about OpenMW, so that is on the radar. Nerevar, clip this. One day I'll get around to that. Okay. I'm not sure quite what I'm doing with this little indent. I guess we just kind of have it open up a wee bit. We're making good progress. We're making good progress. One day. I need to, like, not plan too far in advance for things that I'm going to do. I still need to go ahead and stream. Like, the big thing I have planned right now is my 25 parkour maps, right? I need to get around to playing those. Part of me thought about starting it today, but sorry. Nose got, like, really stuffy there for a moment. That was not pleasant. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Because I died 25 times in Parkour Civilization, I need to beat 25 parkour maps on stream to absolve myself of every death. So that way I can say I didn't die at all, actually, because that's how it works, right? I think everyone can agree that is exactly how the game works. And anyone who says otherwise is lying on the internet. Obviously. So that's the current big project I have, other than just playing my survival world every now and then. But also, it felt like I hadn't streamed this in so long after doing just a couple of map streams. Mainly for the reason of, like, I wanted a short break after the 2 long-ass diamond grind streams, right? But now I was ready to get back into it, so that's what we're doing today. Tomorrow on my day off work will probably mostly be parkour. Assuming nothing comes up and, like, takes up my time otherwise. We will see how that goes. I'd say we're, like, just about at the halfway point. Like, once we get to that bit of terrain, we finished this side of the map, which will be quite nice. So then we just need to get down to the beach and we'll be done. Which I'm a little bit surprised. Like, this feels like it's going a whole lot quicker than I expected it to. We're gonna, like, kind of connect these bits of sunken terrain, right? I think that'll look a little bit nicer than having 2 dips right next to each other, but separated. Okay. Didn't mean to place that. Can't really see much of anything because it's dark. Dark and spooky. We'll go ahead and place more torches down after we get this little area done. I also really need to make another shovel understack. This is getting to be a little bit too low for my comfort. Okay. Uh-oh. 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 What happened? What happened? Oh, just one misplaced torch. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I have the 25 parkour streams. I still need to finish the DLC for ZA. One thing in the pipeline is I want to stream the Off remake. Like, that's been something I've been putting off. Pun not intended. It's got quite a few things I need to do now that I'm actually, like, back for who knows how long. I also want to start doing shorts. I did the one for the Dream Journal ending, which performed kind of shockingly well. At least for my channel size, I'm a little bit surprised. So I think that's a good way to just kind of boost the output of the channel, get more people coming in. Despite the fact that I'm not doing, like, edited long-form videos. I could also upload them to TikTok, but that's a bit more effort than I'm wanting to put in. I've tried to dual task those things. Also, just, like, not a big fan of TikTok generally. It's not something that I actively use. The only reason I look at YouTube Shorts is because I'm on YouTube. Okay. So I'll think about what I'm doing. I do kind of want to try growing the channel a bit now that I'm back. It feels like there's no reason not to, I guess. But it's also not my biggest priority. I'd rather just hang out. Have fun, relax. Okay. We're going to connect these edge bits. Like so. Kind of bring it over here. Okay. So we're almost done with this half of the map. Looking at this, I really just need to do this really goofy bit of terrain. And I think I'll go ahead and let's bring in this area a wee bit before rising the terrain. Have you played the original off and have I played One Shot? Yeah, I played One Shot. I did Solstice. Absolute peak. Wonderful game. I loved it. Off is something where, like, I've tried to play it several times, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit every time, but I've also just never gotten around to beating it. I've never beaten Off. Very original joke, trademark. Never heard that one before. I've never beaten it. The farthest I've gotten is Zone 2 before getting distracted and doing something else. So the remake is a good excuse to finally get around to that. Plus I hear they've like added extra bosses, and I've heard a good bit of the music, which is quite nice in my opinion. The only one I had a big issue with was the Flesh Maze Tango replacement. Flesh Maze Tango is too much of a bop to have lost. The new one just didn't quite fit that vibe. Other than that, though, I'm not really a soundtrack purist for that. Okay. Okay, no, that was a big point of controversy whenever the remake came out, but I'm personally fine with it. I'm a fan. I think the people who worked on it did a good job. What's it? Justice. Justice? However you pronounce it. Absolute banger. Hold up. I want to listen to that now. Hold up. Dropping everything. Christmas music be gone. Time to listen to Peak. Time to listen to Peak. Come on. Why are you buffering? This does not fit the vibes of what we're doing whatsoever, but I don't care. But I do not care. I don't care what anyone says. This is Peak soundtrack. Peak soundtrack. It's kind of funny though, one very funny thing is Toby Fox did a good amount of the battle themes for the offering. Or namely, just it was with the help of Morris. It was either Morris or Camellia. The pepper steak replacement, white meat, white raw, white carcass, those ones. Toby Fox did those, and I think they sound great, right? I've heard arguments that they don't really sound like off music. To be fair, I don't know how much of a say I'm allowed to have in it as someone who's never been in the game. I think they sound fine, but maybe it's a has-been pilot situation. You're so used to having this for years that it feels wrong. But the funny thing, where I'm going with this, is then you go ahead and play Deltarune, right? Playing Chapter 4. And you get to the Statue Gerson fight. Ripple just sounds like it's straight out of the original Off. Like, Ripple just sounds like an old Off soundtrack. Which is kind of funny, because, like, for all the people saying, like, yeah, Toby's style doesn't really match Off, then you hear, like, in his own game, a song that's arguably more like the Off soundtrack than anything he did. This isn't like a statement on the quality of the remake soundtrack. It's more of just a, I find that funny. Once this finishes playing, same by the way, One Shot's my favorite game ever, and the farthest I've gotten in Off is a timed puzzle, but I don't quite remember what it was. The only thing I can think of for it, I've not gotten past Zone 2. Isn't there like a chase sequence in Zone 3? I'm guessing maybe that? Getting chased by big guy? But yeah, if I pull this up now, pull up Ripple, this just sounds like something out of Off. Ripple, Deltarune. This is one of my favorite tracks in the chapter. Complete with, like, the trash can lid percussion. Like, this feels like something out of Off to me. Like that trash can lid percussion type thing. Like this doesn't feel like a Deltarune song. It just doesn't. This feels more Off soundtrack than the sounds he did for the game. And I find that hilarious. I am still firmly in the holy shit 2 cakes category, mind you. But yeah. Anyone in here that's like, what the heck is an Off is like, what are you waffling about, Phantazap? But, I don't know. I die on the hill. I die on the hill. Alright. Back to Christmas music. Back to back to this. I just had to go on that little side tangent. I love all the music. All the music. I normally try to use in-game music for my survival world, just because a lot of the time when I'd be streaming prior to this, I would always use like a little playlist of just various games. So I kind of feel like, for me personally, I don't spend as much time as I'd like to listening to C418 stuff, which makes this feel a little bit cursed, once again. I know I said it earlier today, but just replacing the normal music with the festive pack stuff, which normally isn't even possible in this, right? You actually have to like mod the game to remove a file size check. I feel like I'm missing out on stuff by waiting until Deltarune fully comes out to play, but I know for a fact I've had to replay it fully on every chapter release because I'd forget everything. That's fair. For me, that's kind of part of the experience, but I'm also like so into the brain rot that I've not forgotten much. I'm deep in the trenches with Deltarune. I'm very deep in the trenches. Okay. There are bits that occasionally I need a refresher, but it's easily one of my favorite games of all time. Already. Okay. Mine out this stone segment. Okay. And then once this area's done, we'll look over this little hill that we did last stream and see what all is left before we get to the beach. This is going so much quicker than I thought it would. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I wasn't certain I'd be done with the terraforming this stream. I'm easily going to be done. And then the only project they have left on this segment of the map is going to be the vaults. That's the only ongoing, hasn't been completed thing. And that's a new project, so I don't feel bad about that. Just sitting by for a wee bit while I work on the arena some more. Though I played the first chapter when it released, and when the second one came out, I'd say that feels more polished stylistically to me than Undertale. Deltarune, it's like, it's not complete yet, right? It's not complete. And one thing of note, like when comparing it to Undertale, is it's not a complete game. Undertale is. Undertale is done. Maybe whenever new consoles come out and it gets ported and all that, say like with the Switch, with the Xbox port, just the dog room, that's the new content we get for Undertale any given time. Undertale is never going to get its hard mode update. It's never going to get like some major rework, major remaster, I don't think. The game is how it is for a reason, and it's kind of just been left for the fans to do what they will with it. That was kind of the takeaway, I think, from the 10th anniversary stream. The whole, like, oh, the content in here, it was never there, but it's also always been there. And all you have to do is, like, ask what's behind this bridge, ask where this room leads to, and, like, make that yourself. That was kind of the whole end speech of Toby Fox. Undertale is done, right? That's the takeaway here. And so, Deltarune isn't. It's still got a whole bunch left to it. We've only reached the halfway point. And it already feels so polished. It already feels so good. I don't know if I'd say it's better than Undertale yet. Mechanically, it is, I'd say. But it's not, like, a finished game. So I'm kind of waiting for that judgment. Didn't Toby make it basically to learn game development, and Deltarune's the one he wanted to make originally? Yeah, that is correct. A couple of fun facts from that is Bone Trousel was basically the original Brood Buster, and Heartache was the Jevil theme. One of the videos I have on my channel is something like I set up after having learned the thing about Jevil's theme. Because it was originally titled Joker Battle, Heartache was. So I set up a little thing where, having compared the first notes of each, I kind of realized like you could tone it down, and it was very similar. So I pitched down Heartache and not overlaid it, I like replaced the file of the world revolving with that pitched down Heartache. It's just a fun little, this is probably what it would have sounded like. That was a fun thing. Now I want to listen to that. I've not listened to that in a fat minute. View channel. One of the few actual videos I have on my thing from 4 years ago. Come over to here. So Heartache was originally the Jevil battle theme. This is what I imagine it sounding like. And so I have it like actually playing with the Jevil gameplay. That was just a fun little experience. I tried to do the same with Bone Trousel, but it didn't feel quite as fitting. Should I like switch it over to... Let me switch this over to my browser actually. Like, I think it feels oddly fitting. Especially that little whistle. I also gave myself a bunch of unused items for the sake of sillies. Just to make the showcase of it a wee bit easier. This is the oldest video I have like uploaded to my channel. I think I went ahead and unlisted some really old ones, old test things from before I came back to YouTube. Also, like, still a little bit cursed, just because freedom motif is so like engraved into all the secret bosses. Okay. Back to terraforming. Oh, I was like tabbed out. I wasn't even... Oh. That could have been bad. That could have been really bad. I'm realizing now that I wasn't paused. I was just in my inventory and could have gotten jumped at any second while it's become nighttime. Oh boy. But yeah, those ones are the big, like the big examples. I want to say Sans's theme, like the doot 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 doot. Like that one is titled Muscle in the files, so I want to say it was also made for Deltarune originally, if I remember correctly. I don't know if that one's been officially confirmed, like Bone Trousel and Heartache, but yeah. It's well known that Deltarune was like the idea that he had before. I don't know like quite how much was already thought of, but we even have concept art from pre-Undertale of Chris, Susie, and Ralsei. So Deltarune was always the plan. The round moon feels cursed. Yeah. This is like a full port of Festive as much as I could, right? The only thing that I wish I could do better about this pack, I'd need someone to like help mod it in, is I want Rain to be re-enabled. I'd like for Rain to be re-enabled because I replaced the rain texture with the snow texture, and that's like the one. This would complete things for me. Everything else is as good as I can get it. Like even having Lego mod the game to remove the file size check, so I could go ahead and replace the music. So all the textures, all the items. I even did, like most of the cloth textures are ported from later wool textures in the Festive pack. But for Spring Green, and then one of the other colors, I made custom textures. Just for the fact of... Also, I need to, like, fill in these side bits, I'm realizing now. For the reasoning of I didn't quite have enough colors to really match them. So I have a couple of custom textures with that. And then I even went ahead and, like, turned the gear into a wooden cog. Even if I can't actually get the gear. I turned it into a wooden cog, and I gave the quiver, despite it being entirely unused, even via inventory editing, I gave the quiver a stalking texture. So if someone mods the quiver back into indev in all its uselessness, that's a thing they'd have waiting for them with the pack. So I tried to go very in-depth here. The pack is available to download in Omni Archive, by the way. If anyone wants to toy with this, they are more than welcome to. Okay. Kind of fill this area in a wee bit. Get these edges. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. We could also take a look at the sun while it's nighttime. If I have any gravel, I have some sand. Hold up. The swamp looks so festive. Such a festive swamp. If I dig down 3 blocks. Look at the sun, it's a little snowflake. You can also see plenty of sponges everywhere. Plenty of sponges. Metric ton of them, really. Okay. Placed over 2,000 bits of dirt. Come over here. Do that. Get this area. Okay. Sorry, I zoned out a moment. I zoned out for a sec. We're back, we're good. Even if I've been streaming in the morning, nothing more festive than a sponge. You say that, the sponge I am like 80% sure is supposed to be modeled after the Grinch. I'm assuming that's why it's green. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's any other notable green, spongy looking thing that's Christmas related. But I would argue that the sponge is the least festive block, actually. That's my argument. We're down to 1 shovel. We're about to lose our understack, or our overstack, and have to make a new one. But Fantazap, why aren't you using diamond tools? Why are you using iron? Well, dear viewer. Well. I'm not duping diamonds. No. Not allowed. Banned. Straight to jail, actually. Anyone who does, they're getting kicked in the shins. Getting smited. I will have LEGO program a smiting command into the game. We will mod lightning into the game just to strike people for duplicating diamonds. That'd be kind of funny. It's just a goofy little plugin to give, like, as a test thing, is try and detect when someone understacks an item. And if they do it for diamonds and, like, pick up that 0 or negative stack, or anything made out of diamonds, they just get blown up. Diamonds get removed and they just explode. It'd be kind of funny. As a little Spore Blossom plugin eventually. Stacking 79 pickaxes is okay, but duping diamonds is where you draw the line. Yes. My main reasoning is I want to keep the value of diamonds specifically intact. Namely for the stance I have on modern Minecraft, where it's like, I don't think diamonds are valuable anymore. So I want to preserve the value of them, even if artificially, back in this point in time. 'Cause, like, if you think about it, there is now 3. Prior to armor trims, there was only 2 things that you needed physical diamonds for, and that's enchanting tables and jukeboxes. Those were the only things that you actually needed diamonds for. Anything else you could get through villager trading, and no one's going to be repairing armor with diamonds when mending exists. I'm sorry, it's not happening. So they were kind of pointless to have. Like, other than a show of wealth and economy on servers, but it's still kind of arbitrary in my opinion. So over here, right now, there's no mending, there's no anvils. Sure, there's no jukeboxes and enchanting tables, but, like, if I want diamond tools or armor, then I need physical diamonds, right? That makes them valuable. So, for me, it's kind of an instance of, like, by choosing not to understack these and saying this is, like, that line I draw, I am making sure it stays that way, so I'm not, like, being hypocritical to my stance in current block game. Maybe it's a wee bit petty, I wouldn't disagree, but that's kind of where that rule comes from on my end. And once we get to InfDev, I'm also going to be a little bit less... what's the word? I'm not going to do as much understacking once we get to InfDev, because then I can actually, like, go out and find a lot of things. Right now I'm doing a whole bunch of it just because I don't want to tear apart a big chunk of my map just for, say, all the dirt I need for this, right? Because if I take dirt from one spot on the map and move it over to here, for example, then that dirt is just gone from there, right? I'm not fixing up the terrain, I'm just moving where it is. Technically, I could just make everything hollow underneath. So I could just go to areas, dig out the dirt from beneath it, and then work from there. It's also super easy to get with how ores generate now. I've had more trouble finding iron because I was too lazy to look up exactly where it is. Exactly. Also, fortune exists. So not only is it super easy nowadays to just get quite a few physical diamond items, you also just don't need them. So, like, getting a kind of dragon horde going of just dozens of diamond blocks really isn't an issue. So I gotta preserve it. Gotta preserve it. Also, we are basically done. Like, we're at the beach now. I'll do, like, a little mound over there, like, raise the terrain up 1 level, but we have reached the beach. Okay. Let's go ahead and kind of curl this terrain into here. we are very nearly done with the terraforming, which we're not even 2 hours in, so I'm a little bit surprised. Good. Like that. Okay. Kind of loop it around like this. Good. I love having understacks. I'm pretty much creative moding with the dirt. Maybe it's a wee bit cheaty, but oh my goodness, does it make life so much easier here? Instead of having to like have dozens of stacks of dirt for this. One day we'll need it, but we're not going to inf-dev anytime too soon, so it's fine. Plus, I think by that point the terrain will be a little bit less messy. I am kind of working off the consequences of my actions right now, right? In terms of this main bit of terrain is a mixture between an inf-dev, or it's a mixture between a classic and in-dev world, like superimposed on top of each other. This area in particular is messy from the explosions, but all the terraforming I've done prior was mainly for the sake of making the terrain look sane after I had done all that silliness with the world merging to have the in-dev house. Okay. Let's make this wall be filled in properly. Not that we're going to be seeing much of this, especially when we one day update, but I still want it to look correct from the side. Because one day it's just going to get built over anyway. Once there's actually stuff to build it into. Once I can actually place blocks on the side. That day is not today, mind you, but eventually. Eventually. Okay. Connect the beach over to here. I am very excited to be taking the isometric in a little bit. Let's save the game too. We've done quite a bit of terraforming and I don't want to lose that progress. Don't want to lose it to a stray creeper or some nonsense. Getting jumped by a spider. Would not be great. Would not be great. Okay. That. And like that. Okay, good. Make all this go up to that level. Kind of wall in this little pond. Good. And fall into the side. Okay. Well, shoot. Shoot. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. Swim back to land. Okay, we're good. I'm probably gonna go up one more block as well. Just to kind of have this hill. Kind of have this hill right by the beach, I'm thinking. Okay. Don't know if I want to have it go to the very edge. I'm kind of thinking not, actually. Since most of this terrain end, most of these ends of terrain are going to the edge of the map. So we'll kind of like vary it slightly. Have a little bit of walking space on the side. Plus it makes it less likely for me to fall into the water over there again. I can fall into the water over here, though. That's fine. That's allowed. Okay. One fun video that I want to do at some point, if I can, like, find the energy to edit it, is I'd like to do a, like, quirks of in-dev video. Just fun, assorted, little goofy bits of tech. Or just things that I've noticed over time. Because I'd say I'm relatively qualified to make a video on some goofy in-dev nonsense. Things I'm thinking about is like the... Why is my fog on? Like the crow's nest over there, the water ladder strap, or the slab thing. Have that documented in video. There's another one I can think of. What was it? Like lava displacement down at the bottom of the map? I need to see if it's still in the game, but there was a thing I ran into a little bit ago where when placing gravel above the lava at the bottom of the map, when the gravel fell, it would put lava where that gravel was. So it was like a way to get lava at a different height. I don't know if that still works in this version, and it's not been relevant because, like, I have lava spawners, but that is a thing that I ran into a little bit ago. So that'd be fun to document. They could also just check in with people in the community, see if there's any fun tricks they'd want to show off. I think this is probably one of the single most underrated versions of the game, in my opinion. Because, like, it doesn't play too differently than normal Minecraft, right? But it's like, having this limited world is akin to Legacy Console. This is essentially, like, the Legacy Console version of Minecraft Java. That's what I'd say. It's the closest you really have to that vibe of, like, working with a limited world, using what resources you've got, just kind of trying to fill things in. This is the last point in the game where you're not limited by just blocks, but you're also limited by space. And yet it also has just so many of those survival features, so it's like, you can really just play the game here. You have your crafting, you have your furnaces. Shockingly, you have farming. I thought that was like a later feature, but no. You got crops, you got your critters. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. I am the #1... Not apologist. In-dev apologist wouldn't... In-dev propagandist. I am the #1 in-dev propagandist. It's who I be. It's who I be. Okay. There we go. Alright. Go ahead, get some more torches down. Let's kind of work around this area a wee bit. And then once it becomes fully transitioned to nighttime, we'll get that isometric. We'll get that taken out of the way. And see the progress that we've made today. Since the terrain itself is done, I'm going to save the game real quick as well. Just so I don't have to potentially redo that. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be something of interest, actually. That's something we'll have to work on for Spore Blossom, and now realizing, like, the saving mechanics. Because you manually save in this, it's not done, like, automatically. Would we... That's honestly, like, a game rule that we could do at that point, actually. Like, have a server setting allow world saving from, like, the client side. Because that'd be kind of neat, having, like, a option to let people download the server on their own end for, like, storing. but then also have like an option to disable it if you, for some reason, like want to hide things from the player. Mind you, people will find ways around that if they want to, because we've done it in modern Minecraft, but... That could be interesting. That's an eventual pitch to LEGO once things are functional. There's a lot of potential for in-dev multiplayer, I personally think. Like, I'm kind of sad that it got scrapped after Classic, and we didn't get it back until Alpha. Which, like, I kind of get it, going into InfDev, like, doing all that testing, right? Because as much as this feels, like, separate from InfDev, it really isn't. Not in terms of, like, dates, right? Like, in20100223, if I pull up the wiki, 20100223. February 23rd, 2010. Then if I go to the next one, February 27th. So it was 4 days. 4 days between the last version of InDev and going to Infinite Terrain. And you'd have to imagine that, like, it was being planned a lot longer, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, and I'd have to see if Notch ever said anything on it, but I'm like 80% certain that Infinite was probably planned from, if not the beginning, very, very, very early. So there's not really like an actual line in terms of dates between InDev and InfDev. It just kind of became Infinite one day. I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. I kind of got distracted by looking at the wiki. What was I saying? I don't know. I think it's just an interesting version. It's kind of overlooked, kind of not thought about a whole lot, but I think it's fun, and I think it has good multiplayer potential. Because it's just kind of the culmination of Classic. Okay. I think we've gotten all these torches down. Save the game. And we're going to go ahead and take an isometric and see what that looks like. Pop every bone in my spine. F7. Can't wait for the, like, 2 GB big... Can't wait for the 2 GB sized screenshots to happen eventually. That'll be goofy. Oh, you know what would be funny? Recreating, like, the blurry Herobrine screenshot, but doing that with, like, the 8K screenshots. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, there was, like, a weird kind of development debug-ish giant screenshot thing at one point for just taking the most absurd resolution pictures of the game. Like, it was insane. Those screenshots take about 2 GB, if I remember correctly. Okay, that'd be like a really funny thing to do at some point. Okay, MC map. Image, flip horizontal, just to actually match how this looks in-game. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. It's wonderful. Okay. Let me switch this over to paint.net real quick. I don't know why it's not... There we go. There we go. Look at that. Side of the map, finally cleaned up. It's no longer a mess of explosions. We've got a couple more torches to, like, put along this edge, so we'll do that. But... that was the last big thing I had left over here. So this entire area of the map is honestly, like, looking rather good. Look at that. Isn't that nice? You can pretty clearly see everything despite it being nighttime just because of all the torches, which is kind of cute. Dude. Like, there's still so much room to build more, right? And everything is going to be pretty filled. So eventually there's going to be some, like, kind of building no matter where you go. But that was the last big project I had over here that's just been waiting indefinitely, right? Just waiting for something to happen. Finish saving that isometric. And then close that. So we're going to finish this torch placement. Find the little dark spots that we have on there. And then I guess the next thing to do would be checking out the arena, right? Because with that, we've done the pathways, we finished up the mine, finished up the farm, did a little extra couple of builds with the swamp and the holiday plaza. We've done the park. We've started the vaults in the storage room. That is an underground thing, so I'm not super duper duper stressed about getting that done too soon. That's really just another new long-term project. All these above-ground short-term things are finally done after years. Not years, but like after a year. Some of these things too, maybe, of having been started and left unfinished. It's wonderful. The star looks so pretty off in the distance. One day you will no longer look like sludge snow, my friend. One day all of this will turn back into nice white wool. You'll have your color back, or lack thereof. It'll be great. It'll be great. And we got the little Christmas tree with the star up top. Man. I love this world. This is great. Easily the most attached I've been. Technically, we also wanted to do more trees in my front lawn. So that's another thing that we can work on at some point. More things like this. With a bit more knowledge of the in-dev leaf mechanics as well. But what I'm concerned about right now, what I am focused on, also it's good to see that the water has not broken again. Very nice to see that my lake is still intact, for as much as it tries not to be. Psst. Finally, we can look back into working on the arena, right? So, it's also fun just having monsters be in here, because this is kind of serving like two purposes in... what's it called? It's kind of serving two purposes on this world. One is for the thing I've said before of I want to do my own take on the challenge games. But the other is in-game, for me having lit up the rest of the map. This is like my mob fighting arena. There's not a lot of places where I can just go out and kind of try and fight the goobers. Which is kind of fun, in my opinion. There's not quite as many as I'd expect. I've also not, like, lit up this part of the map like I have with the mainland, with the main area over there. So I guess it makes sense that, like, the mob spawns aren't really limited to here yet. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to start with, is... while I think about what I'm doing on the outside, I have like a little concept picture, I want to say. I don't know if I sent it to Lego, Pix, or Kiz, but it's pinned in one of our messages. I think. It's at least sent in one of our messages. Somewhere. Disable streamer mode so I can see who I'm talking to. find Kiz's DMs pinned. No. Where did I put my little... I did a doodle. I did a concept doodle of the arena. And at some point I want to do another doodle, but overlay it on a isometric so I can have a nice clear view. I'm gonna go home, clear out my inventory of just all the junk I got from the terraforming. And I guess for the last hour 20-ish of the stream, I'll just work on filling in the walls of the arena with mossy cobble. Or snowy cobble in this version, I suppose. Back to the house. Back to the house. Okay. Put our giant dirt understack in there. Take our mossy cobble understack. And the slab one, because that's something I'm going to need for the floor. We'll figure out the floor design in a little bit as well. It's not a huge priority at the moment. Okay. Coal in here. Make a whole bunch of furnaces to do something with all this cobble. Do. 40 of these, just so I'm not tossing out every bit of cobblestone I get, because I did fill up those chests. Did the world ever actually need to be lit this much, or is this just the torch pattern you settled on? So, if I remember correctly, the kind of lore behind this torch placement is, I think early on I misunderstood how the lighting system worked, and I was like, oh, I placed down these torches in the way I thought it should work with light levels, and the code says it should work this way, but mobs are still spawning, right? And I think what had happened is I misunderstood the fact that it takes a bit for light to update during those transitions or something. And so it was having periods where mobs could spawn, and I took that as torches not giving off quite as much light in this version. So that's how this torch pattern was placed, just to make absolute certain that everything was more than lit up enough. And then I registered later on, oh wait, I think this is just the time between things happening. But because I'm already so deep into the torch placement, it's I kind of have to keep it all looking the same to just dedicate myself to that. So, thus the torch every other block diagonally. Is streamer femboy in a perfect world? Let's see here. Candy cane plant. Oh, this isn't something I've shown off on stream yet. I need to go over to the... Don't save as neg render jar. I don't want to imagine what that would do. Let's go over to the farm. They become candy canes in this pack. And I'm guessing the world isn't perfect. One day. One day. One day the world will be perfect. That day is not today, though. Okay. Let's see here. This is the kind of nonsense that I think messed me up early on. Oh, there's not torches here. I've got to fix that. This is the kind of goofiness. You shut up? Aw, man. Never. I'll never shut up, Sergio. You can't make me. Welcome to the chat, Frickety Frackety and Sergio. Pleasure having you guys. You guys here, fellas. I wish I could speak. Speaking clearly now isn't that a concept. Okay. Shut up. No. The farm is candy canes now. I've also registered... I know why this isn't growing now. I was very confused for a little bit. So I guess they just can't grow if the light level above them above the block itself isn't a certain thing, right? And so because of that, with solid blocks, obviously the light level inside of that is 0, right? So it's just kind of having rows where these torches are, where no crops can grow. What is Blood waffling about? YouTube is like hiding the messages because of this man. Shut up or I'll beat you again. Wow. Wild. Crazy statements. Crazy statements in the chat. Psychotic even. It's fine. Okay. So what we're gonna go ahead and work on is for the rest of the stream, we'll kind of try and finish the bottom of the arena. YouTube is having your last message get hidden, Sergio. Let's see if you can manage to not have that happen. Get better material. Okay. In we go. This is going to take quite a while to do. I can't just blow everything up like I did to start. I mean, I can. There's nothing physically stopping me. I just don't want to have to light up a pit underneath here that's miles wide. Okay. So I guess what we'll do first is just start digging out. I just dislike your channel. Crazy. Do we got a goober in the chat? Fellas, do we kick his ass? Fellas, leave it to a trial by jury. What happens to this absolute buffoon? Let's see here. Someone... Oh, I broke my shovel. Oops. Someone just doesn't respect peak content, clearly. Someone just can't handle it. Listen, don't worry. I get it. You don't like it. That's fine. Full refund. Have it on your desk by Thursday. I'm not laughing. Skill issue, I suppose. I suppose. Let's see here. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead, get that shovel. It's been fun having you here, Sergio. Absolute pleasure. Unfortunately, I don't think you're capable of just watching someone else until I go ahead and do this, so have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. And by next time, I mean never. Hide user on this channel. Look at that. The consequences of their actions. The consequences of their actions. They're gone. Reduced to atoms. No more. Womp womp. What was I doing? Shovel. I need more shovels. Do I have an overstack in one of my chests? Probably. Got 18 of them. Something. Could make a bigger one. I mean, I may as well just use the ones that I have, right? It's not like they're gonna get used any other time. Okay. Up we go, up we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Enjoy the Kyoto for all of 5 seconds before I walk away from it. Mods, erase that guy from existence. We're gonna show that on the channel. I don't know why YouTube's trying to hide it. Another moderator just handled it? That I did. That was me, by the way. Sent to the Shadow Realm. Oh no, the consequences of my actions. I can't troll in someone's chat. Oh, my freedom of speech. Oh, so sad. Oh, so sad. Oh, I'm crying. Mods, eat his kidneys. Alright. I don't think this will be enough for that. Well, it might be. I say that. This looks really big from the inside, but I don't think it's quite that much dirt. It's namely the sides. The sides have quite a bit. I also need to think of if I'm going to, like, texture the inside of the wall. I know the outside has... what's it? The outer wall has those obsidian bits, right? Which gives it some visual distinction. Right now, the inside is just kind of pure mossy cobblestone, which ain't quite what I'm going for, I don't think. I think it'd be nice to have, like, obsidian support pillars on the inside. Especially because, like, up there's gonna be a... what's it called? Like, kind of a bench seating section for people to watch the inside of this. One cool thing that I could do is whenever I get around to, like, doing those little challenge games, one thing I'm thinking of setting up is if I can find a way to, like, keep people sane in the in-game chat, I almost want to, like, let people in to be in the stands. Oh, wait, you know what I could do, actually? That would be a lot less effort, but still kind of funny. Whenever I get to my own version of the challenge games, I'll just put a bunch of villagers up in the stands, and then every time they'll get murdered by whatever boss is around. That'd be kind of funny, actually. See how long they can last. One day. This is the first time I've messed with this in a little bit, actually. I do kind of miss working on this. This was a very fun little project for the time that we had worked on it, and we're finally getting back to it, because I've not abandoned 40 million things on the mainland anymore. Finally have some time to do new projects. It's wonderful. It's great. 'Tis a load off my shoulders. Let's see here. Okay. I've already gone through 2 shovels. I'm very much thinking this might not actually be enough. Unfortunate, but fair, if that's the case. One thing I need to worry about is being in this arena where I've very explicitly not lit up the ground does kind of mean I'm at risk of just getting violently mauled to death while working on this. It is a very legitimate risk. Okay. Mine down here. Most of the ground is stone. It's really just these walls around the place that I need to worry about replacing. Pillar up. Okay. Mods, add a single proton to every atom in his body. Alright. Blip. Blip. Okay. Anything over there? Still no monsters. Oh, that area is, like, lit up. I don't know what's going on there, but... wild. Okay. Here we go. Don't know why that's there. I guess I pillared up or something. Probably. Fill my inventory with dirt. Sounds wonderful. Sounds grand. still no monsters trying to eat me. It's always nice, always great. Wish I could see, but you know, we'll get there. See, I'm not sure what I want to do, because on one hand, I do want to have light in here for eventual challenge games. Well, no, I think what I'll do is I'll just have the daytime set, maybe? Or I can, like, game rule disable mob spawning or something. I'm not sure. We'll see what we do later for that. I guess just depending on what version I'm doing things in. I can make, like, presets whenever I get around to that. We'll see. We'll see how we handle it. But, like, in here, I do really want it to be dark at night. Because otherwise, I'm just not having anywhere else to fight monsters. And until we have multiplayer, there's also just... Every time that, like, pressure plate dispenser noise gets me. Without fail. We don't have other players to fight yet. Whenever Spore Blossom comes around, we'll see how we get combat working there. Because I don't want it to be, like, no fighting players. I feel like that's a little bit lame. But then that's also just a feature that InDev doesn't have. So it'd probably have to be worked in almost from scratch. Unless Notch's code is, for once, not a pain in the butt to work with, which is a little bit of a gamble. A wee bit of a gamble. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hard to tell if I'm breaking every block of dirt, but it doesn't quite matter. I'm gonna come back around for the stone as well. And that's when I'll worry about all the placing. Okay, I think I will actually be able to do all of this with just the shovels that I have, which is nice. Okay. Any monsters? Got a zombie over there, downtown. Living his best life, living his best life. I need to, like, figure out the width of this at some point. Since I did use, like, a circle generator, I want to say, for getting the walls set up. So I want to say... This is like... I don't know. I'll need to figure out the dimensions of it whenever I do the upper floor. And probably for whenever I do the benches inside. Hop up here. There we go. Currently midnight. 1 hour left on the stream. Don't know quite how much we'll get done here. We'll see. We shall see. Fall right down. Good. I am blind. I feel completely blind trying to do anything at night. This is another reason why I torched everything up as well. It's like, I can't sleep, right? There's no beds, so I cannot skip the night no matter what. Which means that if I want to do things at night, or if I want to do things and be able to see, I just have to put up with the night, and I have to have light everywhere. Which has led to the nonsense outside. But in here, if I'm doing stuff at night, I just kind of have to put up with the darkness. I can temporarily light things up, I guess. There's nothing stopping that. I could always just remove all the torches when I'm done. Though, even then, right? Even if that's what I do, I'd have to break them all later. And, like, climbing up here eventually for the next set of walls is gonna be odd. Like, I'll just get into the darkness, and if I want to light that up, I'll have to put torches on the walls, and then they'll be a pain in the butt to break, because they're gonna be high up, and I don't want to pillar to them. Imagine thinking night is dark. This post was made by Monitor Gamma Gang. Fair enough. Couldn't be me, couldn't be me. No, I gotta torch everything up. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Old-fashioned way. One thing I want to get at some point is I want to get, like, all the essential handbooks for Minecraft. I think that'd be fun to have, just, like, each one of the editions of each one of the 4 books. Just shine a flashlight at my screen. You're so right. This is making it harder to see. This is, in fact, not helping my gaze. Now I just have a glowing orb on my screen. We're gonna not do that. I hear the pigs marching, I see the creepers waltzing. I do need to be on guard for those guys. Creepers could very easily cost me quite a bit of time. Save. Just be on guard. Don't be any stupider than normal. You don't have all editions, but you have a full set that you got from a friend. Nice. When I was a kid, I had like a couple of them, and I loved those books so much. I remember like memorizing the TNT cannon build and just building it on like super flat creative worlds with online friends. And that was just always so fun to toy with. Even if there wasn't like anything to hit with it. It was one of those silly little things. Me learning about the Guardian before it was in Legacy Console Edition was also fun. Kind of funny that a lot of the info in those books is just completely out of date at this point. No, yeah. Like, they've made different editions over the years. But, out of curiosity, like, Minecraft Essential Handbook from Scholastic Inc. This one is from 2013. We have a newer edition. Yeah, updated from 2015. I could have sworn there was another one. See all languages and editions. Okay, what if I like Minecraft Essential Handbook? Because I could have sworn there was like another updated one. This one was like, oh yeah, dude, updated and revised from 2023. Wow. So I wonder like when we're gonna get the next one, because 2023, October 10th, 2023. What was the latest update around that point? Let me pull up release on the wiki, release timeline, Java, 2023 October. So this would be around, I'd say, like the 1.20 day, which is kind of interesting to think about, that like we've been on 1.21 for so long now. Only major disappointment is the revised one that doesn't have a 3x3 Jeb door. I want to get those at some point. That'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing to have on the bookshelf one day, whenever that's the thing I have. Thinking about like where I'd even put a bookshelf in here. I could do with like a little corner one, like right here in the office. Still can't make a 3x3 without looking it up. Pistons are difficult. Now we won't get 1.22. I don't know, like, what the community consensus is. I've heard very mixed feelings. I'm not too against it. Like, I feel like I'm kind of just neutral towards it, to be honest. Oh. Brother. And this is why we save our game. This is why we save our game. I got fair and square, point blank. Well, open. Means I gotta go back to mining stone. Take two. Take two. Once more. They either need to add a number for each drop or just keep updating the major version number for each drop. Like, I would say, I think the best thing that they should have done would have just been, with that very first drop that was completely unrelated to Tricky Trials itself, they should have just gone ahead and, from the very start, used the major version. Like, that would have been the best thing, I think. But unfortunately, they kind of, like, set a weird precedent with... I see all you guys. They kind of set a really weird precedent from the start of using the minor versioning. Which, like, makes sense. I get where they were coming from of, like, oh, this isn't a major version, this isn't on the level of Tricky Trials, so this wouldn't be 1.22. But also, it just wasn't related to Tricky Trials, so it had no reason to be that. And I think that's kind of like where the mistake was made. Because once they kind of got into that loop, I think, you would want to expect 1.22 to be some big thing. And so it makes more sense, in my opinion, to just switch to having them not be 1.21. Like, I think it would have been weird if they just indefinitely... Lord forbid Minecraft ever have reasonable versioning. Real. Like, on one hand, I also see why they kept them as the minor ones, because look at Buzzy Bees. I feel like a lot of people at the time argued, why is this 1.15, right? If Buzzy Bees was released today, it would have just been a drop, right? Like, without a doubt. But I feel like they should have just bit the bullet and did that anyways, and got used to us having major versions for the drops. I just think doing a new versioning scheme now, because of the fact that they've gone ahead and, like, kept up with the weird minor version drops for so long. It's 1.15 because it fixed the horrible performance and bugs in that, and that's also fair. That's a good point. Like, I remember seeing quite a bit of weird backlash about it. With that context, though, it does make a bit more sense. It's more of an, like, just at first glance thing. Let's see here. 1.15 was needed? Yeah. If anything, like, the actual features there were kind of meant to be secondary. So that's fair. That's actually fair, yeah. The features were secondary to the fact that the game ran like crap. I remember trying to boot up, say, like 1.13 on Legacy console. I've not played, like, Update Aquatic anytime recently on Java, but I know that after 1.13, the performance of Legacy console got horrid. Like, it was always really good prior to that, but it is actively painful to play on PS3 now, which isn't great. Though maybe my device is just getting old. That could also be part of it. But to my understanding, isn't, like, Update Aquatic kind of where performance just got really goofy for a little bit? Or am I wrong with that? I think it's worth saying that I wasn't really playing Java Edition until about 1.16.5, right? I think I was keeping up to date with the things, but I was like more on the modding side of things. Like, my very first Minecraft account, and I don't have it anymore because I guess it was from one of those alt websites. Like, I was gifted my first Minecraft account by a developer of the Pixelmon Reforged team. And it was just an alt account. So it's like one of those things where it's like nowadays I'm not surprised that it got purged, right? Like, I guess the account was handed over to someone else or some crap. And I wasn't able to, like, change the info on it, so... My first Minecraft account is, like, lost to time now. In fact, I want to say, if I go ahead, pull up NameMC, the username on that one was, like, my really old username of Leaping Riolo. If I look that up, I want to say the account name, yeah, it's available. So, somewhere along the line, that account did get stolen, then. Because if the name was changed and isn't being used on NameMC, someone else has my original Minecraft account. Which is fair, I think, because I'd have to imagine that's how it was gotten in the first place. If it ends up in one of those alt websites, it was just stolen from someone, right? I'm hoping that whoever first had that account got it back. That's my personal wish. But now I have my own accounts. The reason I bring any of that up is basically because I got it from a Pixelmon Reforged dev. I want to say they gave it because I wanted to play the mod really badly and just couldn't, because I didn't have Java Edition. So that's like the entire thing that got me into Java Minecraft to begin with. Nowadays, I've more or less moved off of like mod packs and whatnot for the most part. I say that. I guess like whenever I'm playing modern Minecraft, usually it is modded. Usually that's why I'm playing it. So I guess it's not really an accurate statement to say I've moved off of them. It's more so that most of my Minecraft played nowadays is just old versions of the game. I've kind of settled into the in-dev niche via Wander. And like, it's always a series that I wanted to do. I had a couple of attempts at it. I think if I look at my channel real quick, I don't know if any of these vids are up. I want to say I took them down. Yeah, I took down the videos I did of like attempts at doing a multi-version survival world before I had the knowledge of like Omni Archive. I can scroll down a little bit. Or it might be in the live streams actually, which in that case, I don't know. I'd have to check. They may have just been fully deleted from my channel. I don't know. I think that's what I did. But I tried to do some multi-version survival things. At first they started at 1.0 and I was doing it like every time I died, I would do an update. Then later on I tried to do an attempt where it was like, okay, well I'm just not dying too much, or I died too quickly after a death and skip several versions. So instead I'm gonna do every week. And I think I started at like InfDev for that, because I learned that there were things before 1.0 via the historical version thing. And then this attempt was the most recent go, where I was like, neither of those things really work. Doing it every week means I'm kind of just like, A, reliant on actually streaming it, and B, like, some versions just have too much that I want to do that I wouldn't be doing. So then Wander was my third attempt at doing a multi-version world, where it's like, I'm just gonna play a version until I don't feel like it anymore. Until I think it's like relevant to update for one reason or another. Maybe have like a goal or two within anything. And so that's led to the situation where I have right now of I have no clue when I'm gonna update to InfDev, but it's also easily been the most enjoyable out of all my attempts. Plus, with the context of Omni Archive, I was able to start legitimately from like the earliest archived version of survival, right? Earliest survival test that we have. Okay. The base wall is done, which is good. What I'm gonna do is like have those higher levels be cobblestone, and then once I'm done with that, I'll do a transitioning between the mossy and the normal cobble. But this is the result of that, basically. That's where I was getting at. This is me throwing away any rules of this is when I update. This is me just playing the game when I feel like it, as I feel like it. And for a little bit, it kind of was on dicey ground of me just going on some perpetual breaks. But this world is like the one content thing where I've always been so happy to go back to it. Like every time I take a break, I'll miss it, I'll play it, and I'll be like, oh my god. Oh, how I've missed you. My sweet, sweet child. Kind of fill in this area. So I think I'm going to have the very edge be mossy cobble. I'm thinking of how I want to do the floor of this. Maybe I'll like get a screenshot from above and kind of vaguely doodle the inside. But this world, I can confidently say, is probably the reason I'm still actively streaming, right? Just for the sake of like, no matter what breaks in content I take, I've made the rule for myself that I stream this when I'm playing it, right? I don't play this at all off stream. And so therefore, if I want to play the world, I'm streaming, right? So this keeps me doing it every so often. And it's kind of led to me coming back in full force recently. So it's special to me like that. It's very fun. So like I said, easily the most attached I've been to any world on this game. Let's see. And one day we'll go up to InfDev, and maybe even one day, I doubt this will be anytime soon, maybe one day we'll catch up to Modern. I personally don't think so, to be fully honest. Namely, for the reason of... It's kind of, like, hard to describe, but we're kind of in a situation right now, with just current Minecraft releases, of if I'm playing every version, that includes snapshots and whatnot, and there's never really a point where we don't have a new snapshot. At least, like, not for any severe amount of time. And so one concern I've had is whenever I get to current Minecraft, how am I going to do the modern snapshots? I can do it, like, as they come out, I suppose. But I do kind of want to spend a good bit of time on versions that I feel like are otherwise just not getting much attention, if that makes sense. Because maybe it's just... And I don't know if this is an actual, like, thing that's happening, but if I'm thinking about this logically, there isn't really much reason for most worlds to hold on, like, current snapshots, right? I feel like with these sort of multi-version worlds, they're almost always, at least, like, in the MCDF side of things, they're almost always in really old versions of the game, right? Bro is still in InDev and thinks he'll eventually reach modern releases. To be fair, I have an active reason for this specific version staying here nigh indefinitely. Once I'm past the InDev wall, I think the next, like, going to be on there for years version will be beta 1.7.3. Like, to be absolutely fair, I just have a very clear goal on here that's going to take a long-ass time. That's keeping me here. The only other versions I can think of that will have a similar thing is the one where I can place down command signs, because we will actually have, like, modern wander for a little bit. It's gonna be kind of funny, because we're gonna have a skip from whenever you can place down signs that have NBT data all the way up to A or B for the intent of getting commands in my survival world. I think that'll be like a very fun project. So we will actually be on modern for a little bit, and I'm wondering just how cursed that's gonna feel. But we will immediately downgrade once we've accomplished it, and then won't see modern for probably years. I don't remember when you can do command signs. Let me check the MCDF wiki real quick. But, what was it? Every time I look up MCDF, it shows entirely unrelated things, and I have to, like, pull up the wiki itself in the search. What was it? Where was I going with this? I need to see where the command sign version is. If it's before beta 1.7.3, then it's, like... Okay, no, it's a 1.8 snapshot. So that's going to be quite some time before we get to it. So before 1.8, we'll have beta 1.7.3. And the hard goal there, and this is yet another instance of maybe I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead, but this is a plan I've had for a long time, is we are going to make the walk to the Farlands, and personally, I want to also do the walk to the Nether Farlands, right? It's going to be a long time. I'm going to be streaming this a metric ton whenever I get around to there. Oh, I'm getting called. One sec. Muting. Okay, I'm back. Looks like stream's lagging. Do you have your world in your will? If not, Slim is still thinking bigger. Understood. I need to make a will. Understood. I need to make a will for my Minecraft world. Have it be inherited. Ow. I have a little snack now, too. Num num num. Alright. In a second. Chow down slightly. You can hear the bag crumbling. It's a weak little bag. They're like little muffin bites. They're very good. Very tasty. But yeah, we'll see what happens. One day, I'm probably going to reach beta 1.7.3. That's gonna be a walk and a half. I'll need to look into like world trimming programs at that point too, because that's gonna bring the file size up into the dozens of gigabytes, which will be a little bit crazy, a little bit mad. How do those things work? Is it like checking for edited files, I guess? Like seeing which chunks have been altered in some way, shape, or form? Or how do those like trimmers work? Because I've not toyed with them before. I don't know if anyone in chat has. I just know that it's kind of like needed after a certain point to keep the world size from actually exploding. By the time I get to the Farlands, Kurt's world was like 80 gigabytes when he reached the Farlands. That sounds about right. Like, that sounds pretty accurate. And to be fair, I don't think it would be getting much bigger than like 100 gigabytes one day. But that's also a little bit more than what I can reasonably back up. Certainly not standardized? No, definitely not. That'll be a research project for future me. No, what we need to do is walk to the Farlands on in20100223. Or in20100223. I think that's the one that's like absolutely crazy save data. Or is it 2.5? It might be 6.25. It's 6.24 or 6.25. I'm trying to see here. You can just look up saving on the wiki. Or not, apparently. If you're doing the walk in beta 1.7.3, you'll have the region files at least, so you can just trim it by hand. No, yeah, that's also true. We'll see what happens. Because one thing is, I also wanted to do that walk with a friend. So I was wanting to do like a multiplayer Farlands journey. That's so far in the future that like, I don't know how it'll play out, right? But eventual moving plans to go with that friend. We were gonna do the march there together. Because I don't know if that's been done before. I don't know if anyone has tried to do a 2-player Farlands walk. The Nether one I'll probably do on my own, but base overworld Farlands journey is like safe enough that I think it could be done not quickly per se, but like relatively sanely by 2 people. The Nether one, I feel like I'd be a bit too focused on saving my own butt from everything present there. I wonder if you can make mob switches in beta 1.7.3. Because are spawn chunks a thing at that point? Check. Every time I like talk about these future plans, I look things up that just aren't going to be relevant for forever. Yeah, spawn chunks are a thing in alpha. So maybe I could try to find a way to like have a mob switch to keep the nether safe. How long does the Farlands walk take if you commit to it? No, Kurtman did stuff like walking backwards and it could be way faster. To my understanding, from what the wiki is saying, it's like a multiplayer exclusive thing, kind of. At that point, at least. But... let me check this. The wiki has, like, a sort of calculation of it, if I remember correctly. Farlands Java Edition from beta 1.7.3. You know what the wiki says because you added it? Oh, nice. I'm trying to like find... It had like a calculation on about how much time it would take. But I can't seem to find it. I'd imagine it would have to take like several weeks worth of like actual time traveling by foot in the overworld, right? Because we would be doing the overworld one, not traveling via nether. Since we're saving the nether travel for getting to the nether Farlands. But overworld travel, I imagine it would take like several weeks worth of hours of just pure walking. If you're going more or less straightforward point A to point B. Not stopping along the way. Probably a bit longer if you're going for corner Farlands. Not intentionally, it's because chunks don't unload at all unless you change dimensions or reload the world. What the heck? They don't unload it. That sounds like it would get really laggy really quickly. What? What the heck? That sounds like it would get horribly laggy very quickly. Notch, what were you cooking? It sounds terrible. Is it like that in servers? I hope not. I really hope not, but I guess it'd be something that you kind of have to just reopen the world every so often so that the game stays playable. It doesn't happen like that on servers? Okay, that's good at least. So if I'm doing the 2-player walk, or even just running the game through a server jar, it'll be a little bit nicer. Okay, that's good. Only hit a half port of the server chunk manager. Oh, one version that we're gonna be on for a while. I want to say beta 1.9 pre-release 3. Just getting a whole bunch of sky dimension chunks while that's an option. That'll be fun. One thing I need to be careful about is like trying to not lose my end portal chunks, because doesn't it only generate 3? So there's a very real chance. I think it only generates 3 strongholds early on. I need to be careful that I'm not like deleting or like preloading my stronghold chunks and losing them. Isn't bad as you might expect because mob spawning chunk ticking only happens around the player and all mobs despawn when too far away. I guess the only way you could pull off a mob switch in that version then, you would have to like... You would need like an alt account, right? Have an alt account, keep a bunch of mobs loaded. Because what I'm thinking about, and I don't know like how mob caps work in beta 1.7.3 as well. I'm going off of release knowledge and it wouldn't surprise me if that's changed. Release has different mob caps per category. So say like your hostile mobs have a different one from most passive mobs. Like your farm animals have a different one from fish. I think axolotls and dolphins have their own dedicated one. You can still stick around in lacy chunks. What's a lacy chunk again? Isn't it like a weird half-loaded thing? Mob ticking one. Non-ticking mobs might as well not exist. What I'm trying to plot is like, I'm thinking if I can somehow use a mob switch to keep hostiles from spawning, it might make the nether a bit safer. I could also always run it on peaceful mode. Because the nether Farlands journey is a little bit scary. Since you can't sleep, you can't respawn in the nether. I don't think there's any version where beds actually worked there. I think there was a couple where they didn't do anything. But I want to say very quickly intentional game design gets added. So I can make a mob switch. There's like a weird Farlands journey tracker. Like, there's a group of people that set up a thing that just keeps track of everyone who's made the journey. It even includes like work in progress trips that were ended by people, say, like dying, which is a little bit morbid, but it goes to show the scale of that sort of thing. I don't know what rules they have, but it'd be very cool to be showcased on that. It'd be very cool to be part of it. I saw that and it's like, that'd be a fun little trophy to my name. I know it has, like, specifications for walking there or using exploits to get there. So I think whenever we make the Farlands trip, we're gonna have to, like, kind of remove any offending things from our inventory. Like, try and do it as legit as possible for a world that's kind of blurring that line at times. If I don't get put on there, that's also fine, but it'd be neat. I really just want to make it there for the sake of getting there, right? I would love to have Farlands chunks in my world. Especially when I eventually get command signs, I can set up, like, end gateways to go ahead and be able to, like, walk through and end up anywhere. So having, like, a way to go back to the Farlands via gateway will be very fun. And I think there's also, like, weird manipulation stuff you can do that lets you generate them in the end to get to that point. It'll be fun. It'll be very fun to work with. Because I'm thinking, right, like, once I have the commands in survival, and I'm able to set up my own personal gateways, that's going to be one of the very few things I actually do with that, right? It's more so being able to have the commands as like a, look at what I pulled off on my survival world, rather than actively abusing them, because, let's be honest, once you have command access, there's really not anything you can't do. But one of the few things I want to do, just because I think it'd be neat, is setting up little rooms, like little structures that have just different gateways to different points of the world. So that way, you can go ahead and just get to certain very, very far away things pretty quickly. One fun build I want to do with it is like set up a room with a bunch of the paintings, right? Have gateways behind them. It's funny that you mentioned gateways via commands, because, yeah, that's what I was also saying. Like, there's a way you can manipulate it. You can manipulate the ones in the end via hyperlink. That's what I'll do before I... Well, no, because I'll have the command signs first. I think I'll do that to get to the far lands first. Highly recommend using /TP in 17W45A. Makes moving block... Do you have... Wait, hold up. Is there a point where you just have access to the teleport command? One person's in an ongoing journey to the center? Nice. I would love to be there. We gotta go for the corner farlands both, right? It's also probably gonna be so nice, like, getting to the overworld farlands, putting down that portal before the point of, like, it breaking. That's insane. That's wonderful. Thank you, Notch. Very cool. But no, like, we'll put down the portal when we get to the corner farlands of the overworld, after just a bit of exploring and hanging out in there, loading chunks. But once we've done that, that should get rid of, like, a lot of the distance effects for a little while we do the nether farlands, so that'll be fun. I'm talking about a journey I'm not gonna make for, like, several years, probably. I always do this. I do this consistently. It's probably fun to ramble about, even if it's not something that's going to be relevant anytime soon. One of the things that I'm debating whether I'll be able to use... Has TP, XP, and Team? XP, I'm not gonna touch. Team, maybe it has some funny things you can do. I'll see. TP, maybe we'll use. We'll see. We'll see. The one thing that I know exists, and I'm, like, extremely torn on whether I'll use it or not, is the B button creative mode version. Because on one hand, this is a survival world, and I kind of feel like ever entering creative mode is kind of like a mark on the world I can't take off, right? You can give yourself a colored name, which is fun. That does sound fun. But I feel like ever entering creative on here does kind of... It's a point of no return, in my opinion. I don't know how seriously anyone would actually take that. But it's also a thing of, like, I don't need to. Right? There's never any point in which I can get things there that I can't get some way, somehow, in a different version. Right? Technically, there's the spawn eggs. It's like the big, this is hard to get before this point. But I can always get those in, like, the April Fool's versions. I'll have mob spawners and whatnot by upgrading. So I really just don't think I need to use the B button creative. As cool as it is, I don't think that's something I want to do. That's the main I'd rather not mess with it thing so far. We'll see if any others become relevant, but yeah. And maybe it really just doesn't matter all too much. I'm sure by that point, right, I'll kind of just have more or less total control over the world. To the point where, like, maybe it makes things interesting to goof off with for one stream. Say we get one session of creative mode via this goofy version, and that's all we'll ever have of it. See what we can do. That could be interesting. I just don't know if that's something I want to do. Right? We'll decide whenever we're closer to that. We will see. Because technically it's something you can access via survival mode. Like, I don't have to do anything silly to enter it. It's just, they put creative mode on a keybind for some reason. So I don't know. I really do not know. Whenever I get command blocks in survival, or like working command signs, and eventually set up the book bootstrap, that's one command that will just be off limits. I will never touch game mode. I think technically I could soft lock myself if I like put myself into spectator mode. Because then I can't press a button, can I? I could actually soft lock myself now that I think about it. Wait. I mean, you could always downgrade to a point before spectator, I guess, which would probably fix it. Yeah. That's kind of funny to think about, but you could get out of there just by downgrading. It wouldn't be that hard. You can actually get into spectator mode in Craft Mine? Oh? Like, what are the main ways you get into there? There's game mode, Craft Mine apparently has something, and then dying in hardcore, which this is not. You can set game mode 0 with a radius on a redstone clock. That's a good way to get out of there, yeah. So there... If I, like, tried to get myself into spectator mode, I could prepare for it prior. I still don't think I'm going to use spectator mode. It could be funny. Spectator mode feels a little bit less egregious than using creative mode, right? Creative mode feels very much, this isn't a creative world, this is supposed to be survival. Spectator wouldn't be horrible to have as like a dedicated command thing, just to get cool screenshots. It wouldn't be giving me a huge advantage. We'll think about that as one of the eventual command sign things. Because the strat's gonna be getting a setup for command signs, and then having a setup where it can like read from a book in your hand. Is what me and Lego had worked on whenever doing that. So that way, you can just write into the book, have plenty of room to tag things onto a command. One thing I want to try doing, this will be like the ultimate goal of that, is seeing if I can't get one of those really old school command block creations working entirely in survival. That'd be kind of funny. There's probably a way to pull it off. Not quite sure how you would do it, because I feel like you need more space than what you have in the book. But there's probably like a way to append things onto the end of a command instead of just replacing the data, maybe? I'm not sure. That would genuinely be I have to play around with it so much more than I have. That is a video that is planned on the channel, by the way, at some point. Like, showcasing getting commands in survival like that with the book bootstrap. Me and Judge, we have planned, we're going to do a stream series in A or B, where we're going to go ahead and do that. So, that is in the plans. That is another project just on the books, ready to do at some point relatively soon, actually. Since Judge is getting back into content as well, right? So that'll be fun to do. We'll have a second survival world ongoing, which is actually in mostly modern Minecraft. It'll be in modern until it isn't. You can't make bookcase contraptions until 1.14 though? No, yeah. I'm really just gonna be setting up for it really early on, right? like, have the setup ready to go, even if I can't actually use it yet. Within the series that me and Judge are gonna do, we'll be able to get straight to it. Yeah. We'll have to have them ready to go. That's gonna be one of the... Hold up. That's gonna be one of the few, like, things I have planned as a bedrock structure, of keeping those signs very well protected until I get to that point, right? I'll need to make that good to go, ready and preserved. I'll set up like a test world where I can make sure everything's functional, like go super in-depth into keeping it nice and safe and ready before I actually do it. Because I basically just have one shot, right? Once I upgrade past that point, sure, I can downgrade to it. No, that's part of it. Like, that's definitely part of it. I just need to be careful about it, right? Like, the strat would be use the sign to set up a command block, have another sign, hello nuclear, have another sign that's set up to read from a book and edit the command block, and then just kind of keep all of those safe. I guess I could have a sign that... Oh, wait. I'm thinking. I don't really need to worry about the signs breaking if I do just have ones made to replace the sign commands. You're right. I've been kind of thinking of it like, oh, keep the signs safe and like have a command block to edit, right? I wasn't really thinking I could just instantly replace the signs with some commands and be ready to go. You're right. Okay. Not that I'll be worrying about that anytime soon, and not that it'll be relevant anytime soon, but I will work on toying with the little bootstrap that I set up. Gotta love Abe, arbitrary book execution. Abraham Lincoln will become the face of getting commands in survival if me and Judge have anything to say about it. Alright. Is it technically an accurate term? No. Like, arbitrary book execution doesn't mean anything. It's not like Ace, it's not like also Ace. There's no arbitrary script execution or code execution. It's not like genuinely the real deal. But also, Abe sounds pretty funny, though. And that takes priority, obviously. Clearly. Okay. So, we're not going to completely finish mining out the floor of this stream. I'm going to go ahead, save the game, make a backup in a moment, because it's 3 o'clock now, so I do need to get ready for work. Tomorrow will be a big old parkour stream. Save Wander MC level. But yeah. Lots of things for the eventual plans. Even if they're not happening anytime soon, it's still fun to ramble about. But yeah, future pipeline projects is just going ahead, doing the Ace series, or the Abe series. Gonna do the parkour, probably starting tomorrow. Lots of things on the books. So, thank you all for watching. I gotta get ready for work, but I will see all of you guys next time.